So in this video, we are going to discuss about an interview question which was asked in Snapchat. So in this question, the problem statement is as follows: that you are given a table with information on Snapchat users, including their ages and time spent sending and opening snaps. Like we all know that we send the snap, we open the snap, and there is a time involved in doing that. So we have to write the query to obtain the time spent sending versus time spent opening the snap. So we have to do a time breakdown analysis kind of a thing here, where we have to uh, get the time breakdown with respect to time spent to send the snap and time spent to open the snap. And we have to get this as percentage of total time spent on these activities and grouped by age group. And we have to round the percentage to two decimal places in the output. So what is happening here in this case is, suppose a user spent 10 seconds on sending the snap and 5 seconds to open the snap. So what is the sending percentage? The sending percentage will be 10 divided by 10 plus 5 means 15. 10 divided by 15 will be the sending percentage. And what is, if suppose a user is using or utilizing 5 seconds to open the snap and again 10 seconds to send the snap. So similarly, in this case, 5 by 15 will be the sending percentage. And to avoid the division in percentages, multiplied by floating point 100 rather than simply integer 100. That is what we have to do. Now this is the activities table. There are two tables. One is activity table and one is age breakdown table. So in the activity table, we have the activity ID, which is of the integer data type, user ID, again the integer data type, and activity type, it will be a string. So there will be three uh, values in here, three unique values, which will be sending the snap, opening the snap, and chat. How many, what is the time spent in chatting? Time spent will be in float because obviously it can be in minute and seconds, all these things. Similarly, activity date will be a date time data type. And this is how your table will look. You have an activity ID, user ID, user ID, and this user ID 123 is spending 4.5 seconds to open the snap. The same user ID is spending around 3.5 seconds to send the snap. Similarly, the user ID 456 is using 5.67 to send the snap and 3 seconds to open the snap. And similarly, there will obviously be a chat time which will be available for 123 user and 456 user. But for this case, we are just considering this particular case here. And now you have age breakdown table where you have other user IDs as an integer and age bucket, which has 21 to 25 age bracket, 26 to 30 age bracket, and 31 to 25 age bracket. So there are three age brackets here. And this is how the age breakdown table will look. User ID 123 is in the age bracket 31 to 35. 456 is the user which is who is in the age of 26 to 30. 789 is 21 to 25. And this is how you have to get the sending percentage and opening percentage. In this case, we are only going to look at 31 to 35 and for 26 to 30 age bracket, because in this table, particularly in this case, you see that we have opening and sending times for only user ID 123 and um, 456. We don't have uh, any values for user ID 789, but we have to make a dynamic solution so that if this table would contain even thousands of records, our query should work well. So in this case, in for this particular example table, this will be the age bracket. 26 to 30 for user ID 456, and 31 to 35 for user ID 123. Sending percentage and opening percentage. How has it has been calculated? The calculation is shown here. Using the age bracket 26 to 30 as example, the time spent in sending snaps was 5.67 and time spent on opening the snaps was 3 seconds. You can see here. Time spent for 456 user, 456 user ID is 5.67 and opening the snap is 3 seconds, right? So the total time for opening and the sending snaps will be 5.67 plus 3, which will be 8.67, and the time spent for sending the snap will be 5.67 divided by 8.67, which will be like 65.4%, and the time spent in opening the snap will be 34.6%. So this is how we have to approach this problem. Now, first of all, generally what happens when such questions are given to any candidate, they suddenly get confused. They're not able to structure their thoughts. So first of all, you simply have to focus on what you have to do. So you have to find the opening and the sending percentages time, and this is the formula. You have to use it. And you also have to, apart from this sending percentage and opening percentage, you also have to get the age bucket you have to get. So this is how we have to approach this problem. So it might seem easier for you at the first go, but when you will be writing the query, you'll have to properly structure your query so that every edge cases is, you know, taken into consideration. So let us go to MySQL workbench to write this query. So in this case, I have already created breakdown and activity table. I have inserted the values, and you can look at these by selecting star from activities. You can see this is the table where I have taken 456 user ID 123 123, and also I have included 789 sending percentage and opening percentage along with a chat percentage. This also, this person 789 also has a chat percentage. So there is a slight change in the table. In this case, I have also taken the chat percent. So in this case, the 789 user only has a chat timing, but I have also included the opening and sending times for 789 user also to keep the case complete like this. And similarly, for the age breakdown, you can see this is the age breakdown table. First of all, if you are working with the databases, you must know that the user ID for this particular age breakdown table and the user ID from the activities table, they have to be joined, because for the activities table, the user ID is a foreign key, and age breakdown table, it is a primary key. So we have to join these two tables using the inner join. So first of all, let us do this so that you can get the proper table, and from there you can select whatever you want. So first of all, what I'm doing is select star. I'll change the star, of course, from, let's do it like this, from activities activities table. Let's say activities table is A, and we have to join the age breakdown table, and let's say the aliases is AB. On, we have to know that a dot user id has to be matched with AB dot user id. AB dot user id. This is one thing. And we have to group because it is already mentioned in the problem statement also that you have to group by the age bucket. So obviously age bucket comes from age breakdown table. So we have to use AB dot age bucket. AB dot age bucket. So this is the primary table. This is the joined table. So if I can just run this, it is not working in this case because I have not got the aggregations up here. So if I just remove this grouping and just use this, you can look at this is the combined table now. You have the activity ID, user ID, activity type. See, group by we will only be working. This query will only work with group by when we will have some aggregations up here, because obviously when you group certain rows, you need to get the aggregations. But if I simply join this table, I'll get this kind of a thing where user ID is this, sending, time spent, age bucket, everything is there like this. Now, from this table, this merged or joined table, this is the joined table, guys. Okay. So from this joined table, let's say consider that I have a user ID 456. We have to select what? We have to select the time spent for activity type sending, time spent for activity type opening, add that up and divide by it. So how would you select the individual records from this particular text? So in this case, the first thing which we have to do is, first thing which we want as our solution is AB dot age bucket. First of all, we have to find this. And then what we have to do is we have to get the time spent for sending and time spent for opening the snap. So how would you do that? So we can simply say that, okay, we can use a case statement in this case. What we can do, we can say that case when in this table, this is coming from activity table A. So what I can do, A dot case when A dot activity type, when activity type is equal to what? Send. When A dot activity type is send, then what you have to do? You have to take A dot time spent. When you have got an A dot activity type is equal to send, then only take the time spent. Otherwise, because this is like an if and else statement, otherwise zero. Otherwise, you don't have to take any time. This is the case statement. So in this case statement, this is one of the case statement, and you have to take this and you have to divide it. Okay. But before dividing, multiply by 100, because you have to use a percentage. So you have to divide this. You have to divide this by same. In this case, again, you have to use the same thing. Case when A dot activity type. Now, in this case, you want this activity type to be found in either send or open. So that's why we'll use a in command. So send, comma, open. So what we have to do in this case, what we are doing, we are finding whether the activity type is in either send or open. Then we have to say that A dot time spent. Means what we have to do in this case, we have to find all those values of sending and opening. And if the time is there, and if you are finding sending and opening records in the activity type, then only take the time spent. Otherwise otherwise zero end. This is what we have to do. Okay, now we cannot simply leave this like that, because we have to do the summation, right? So in this case, whatever records will be taken, whatever time will be taken from sending and opening, we have to use a sum in this case. Similarly, whatever time is given for the sending or opening, we have to also sum them up, because multiple records can also be given, right, for a particular user. So we have to also sum them up. If one record is given, sum will be the same record. But if multiple records will be given, so that's why you have to use sum in this case also. This is one thing. Now we have to round this. The rounding has to be done. So let's write the round to two decimal places. So you can take this round function here, and you can simply use this, and you can say that round these up to two decimal places. Guys, this is and this will be what? Send percentage. Send underscore PERC, send percent. So this is what we have to find. See, whatever records will come for sending and opening, the time with respect to sending and opening, we have to sum them. And we have to divide this sum with respect to whenever the record will have either send or um, open in them. But summation is done because this is a generic table where we are only getting this 456 with send, 456 this as open. But this records can multiply, right? 456 can have multiple records, because the 456 user can uh, open the snap multiple times, send the snap multiple times. So that is why we have to sum, because anyways we will be grouping by the age bucket. So definitely the thing which we have to figure out in this particular question is, when you will read the question problem statement, you can see that write a query to obtain a breakdown of the time spent sending versus opening snap as percentage of total time on these activities grouped by the age group. So user ID is also not a primary thing to be considered here. User ID is okay, but more than that, we have to make sure that we will be anyways grouping with respect to age bucket, right? We will be anyways grouping with respect to age bucket. So for a particular age group, there can be multiple send and multiple open, and that is why we are using this summation here. And once this is done, you can simply copy this up again. You can simply copy this up again, and you can paste it here. You can paste it here. And here in this case, you don't need to use send, you need to use open, and you can just write here as open. See guys, the critical and a very tricky thing in this case is, whenever you will be solving such question, more than multiple times it will happen that you will miss this sum part. You will not miss this sum part for the denominator, because you know that whatever time spent values are coming in, either send or opening the activity type, you will be adding them up, because you are going to find the percentage. But you will tend to miss this summation on the part of the individual activities, which is sending and opening. And why this will happen? Because you in your mind might think that user, you have to get this data with respect to user id, but the answer is no, you don't have to get this idea with get this query working with respect to user id, but you have to group them with respect to age bucket. Because I'm not at all bothered how many users, like which user spent most of the time in opening the snap or closing the snap, whatever it is. I am more interested in getting how many, what is the total percentage of opening, what is the total percentage of time spent in opening the snap and closing this, opening the snap and sending the snap with respect to the age bucket, 26 to 30, 21 to 25, like this. That is why we will use this from here. And now from activities A, the rest of the things will remain the same. It's just that in this particular case, after join, you have to use a where clause. And in this where clause, you have to see that you have to always select, always activity type. You have to always select the records where where the activity type will be in either send or open. So there, you can also try to solve it using other methods, but then this is the most common method which you can find, and most I would say most simple method. So in this case, what I'm doing here is, what is the approach which I'm using? The approach is that first of all, I'm joining this activities table with respect to age breakdown table. Then where clause will come, because the order of execution is from and where. From will be executed first, where will be executed second. So what we are doing in this case, this is the join table, and from activities A. So from activities A is done. Join age breakdown. So this things has been done. Then where command will follow. What will where command do? Where command will take this table. Just consider, guys, that this is a merged or joined table. From this, you will always select only those records where only send, open is there. You will leave any record with chat in it. So you will always select the records where the activity type will be either in send and open. So one thing is done. In this case, you have filtered out uh, the records where the activity type will be chat. So you have this filtered out. And now when you are done this, when you are done using this, then what will you do? You will group by the age bucket. Okay. When then you will group by the third step will be, after that you will be grouping those filtered records with respect to the age bucket. And once this thing has done, then this select command will follow from that particular table. You will be selecting this, and once you will run this, when you will run this, just remove this. Okay, just 1 second. Here there comma will not be. So in this case, when you will run this, you will get this record. So 26 to 30, you will get this opening per sending percent, opening percent. 21 to 25 will get this as a opening and sending percentage, and 31 to 35. So you can also look at this final table where 31 to 35 and 26 to 30 record has been given, and this is the same answer which I am getting it here. Plus I am also getting it for 21 to 25 because I have actually created a record for that. So this is how you will be getting. So guys, the order of execution is very important for you to understand. First, what will happen, then what will happen. So this is how this problem can be solved very easily just by sheer implication of logic, nothing else. Very, very simple. But then you have to be very clear when you are reading the problem that we don't have to group with respect to the user id but with respect to age bucket, because we are only interested to get the percentages of opening the snap and sending the snap with respect to age bucket, and that is why this summation is done. Even if for user id it had been even if you would have been using grouping with respect to user ID, in that case also this summation would be required, because a user can open or close the snap or send the snap multiple times. So you have to just take care when you are writing the formula. 99% of the time, this sum will not be taken up by the students, and probably this is where many people also do the mistake, where you are not actually filtering out the records uh, with the activity type apps as sending and opening. So you have to take care of two important thing guys for this problem. First of all, when while you read the problem, you really have to understand, you have to group with respect to age. And the second thing is the order of execution, where how you have to filter out the record and then select whatever you want from that particular record. So that's it for the video guys. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please like, share and subscribe to CloudyML. Thank you.